Welcome everyone to the Chiefs Buccaneers post-game show. I'm your host of RTS with Oscar Montiel. Oscar, of course, we got Aaron here. Um,
Yo,
because of issues I'm having with Jason right now, he is not here with us, but it is what it is at that point. Um, and enough said there. I'm not gonna go over the whole entire thing here.
no
Um,
beats, no beats.
yeah. So the Chiefs won it in overtime. They beat the Buccaneers 30-24. But before we break this down, I'd like to remind you all to subscribe to both of our channels. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us all on TikTok. All the links, including Aaron's, is in the description below. And support our PayPal, do all that good stuff. Turn on the push notification bell, so that way you guys don't miss any more of these streams, videos, shorts, anything that we do, regarding our channels and TikTok. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about this game. Here are my takeaways. Buccaneers, I don't know, man. Like, ever since Tom Brady, don't get me wrong, Baker Mayfield may be the future, but I feel like Tom Brady, if this was a Tom Brady-led team, he would basically be up in the offensive line's face with these, inexcusable penalties. Like, I counted at least like 3 or 4 times where the Buccaneers had good plays called back by penalties. Especially that drive where they got the field goal, where they could have gotten the touchdown, but it was nullified due to that face mask call.
It's
Um,
it's it's missed opportunities as well
yeah,
because you had the fumble by Kelsey in the first half. They did absolutely nothing with it. Special teams had at least two consecutive possessions where the Buccaneers had good field position and did absolutely nothing with it.
yeah. And here's the thing: I feel like coaching, like
hmm
coaching, and that defense. That defense could not. They were too focused on trying to, create. I feel like that overtime drive. Joe Buck said it. Like they were trying to. There was a defender that was just I think it was Levante David, who was focused more on punching the ball out than wrapping up the guy. Um, in that in
That was
essence.
happening all that was happening all throughout the game too. It wasn't even just at that moment.
Hmm.
And this is the thing too. They consistently got pressure and quarterback hurries on Mahomes,
Hmm.
where if they would have just stuck with what was working, like they're a team, you know, as a team when you have to start making risky decisions because you got to risk it to get the biscuit, as the old common phrase goes.
Hmm.
The problem there is Tampa Bay made the decision to do that too early. Like you can't act like you're in desperation mode in the third quarter, in the beginning of the third quarter. You just can't do that. It doesn't make any sense. Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and honestly, dude, the coach, instead of going for the two, he decides to go for the one first of all. And just a few plays earlier, what I found ridiculous and stupid, they used that final timeout with like 40 seconds, like between 30 to 40 seconds. You don't do that.
Because you just gave Mahomes more time.
Mahomes didn't almost got picked off when he got the ball back within that time frame, but still, you could have either just wind down the clock, touchdown, 2 point conversion, no time for Mahomes, or touchdown, 2 point conversion. You can either force turnovers on Mahomes or force him to go for it on fourth down with 10 seconds left.
Agreed. Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. And Baker Mayfield, it wouldn't surprise me if the Buccaneers try to find something, and we're going to talk about this more in the next segment. But he just was before that final drive, he completed 2 passes to wide receivers. That's it. Like that was just terrible. Like that's just terrible for the Buccaneers. And I know that Mike Evans might come back, but you can't be if you're depending on Mike Evans solely, then you're not gonna go anywhere. I'm sorry.
I agree with you on that too.
So
Well, not only him, but Godwin as well.
yeah, Godwin's done for the season. So again, I don't know what wide receivers are out there. Maybe the Cleveland Browns are looking to get rid of more players. Maybe they could go for an Elijah
Njoku.
Njoku. Who else do they got over there in Cleveland? Whoever else. Maybe the Panthers have some pieces that they can get rid of. I mean, they already got rid of Deontay Johnson, but maybe the Raiders
Which
are.
again, I
Go
think
ahead.
that was a mistake too. I think that was a mistake too. I think the players that they're trying to get rid of, I think, was a mistake too because you're starting to see the decrease in play, especially in Cleveland.
Yeah. So we'll see. Right now, the Buccaneers they really needed that win to at least, they lost the head to head to the Falcons. The Falcons are going to win the division, but wild card because the NFC is actually that damn good. Where uh, at least two NFC North teams, Lions are winning the
No,
division. But,
I think you're going to see three NFC North teams.
yep, and then either.
I think the Packers are going to grab that. The Packers
Mhm.
and well, no, not you know what? Not three NFC North teams. I think you're going to see two NFC East, two NFC North, and two NFC. Well,
NFC West is only sending one dude. The way that and
NFC,
again, like
NFC, yeah,
we'll
and
talk about it here in a second, but like
maybe two NFC South, maybe two NFC South, but that's really stretching it. That's
yeah,
it's going to be down to two teams. Either the two teams that I could see fighting for the last wild card spot, Tampa and Green Bay.
hmm yep, I can see that too.
Yeah,
Um,
that's really where your last wild card spot comes into play because I can see, gosh, because you got three wild cards. Maybe the teams that are going to be sitting in the wild card, I think you're going to start to see Tampa, Green Bay, and I think you're going to see Philly take a wild card spot because I think Washington may win that division.
again, I got my thoughts on that, but we'll save it for the NFL recap. Uh, on the Chiefs side of things, DeAndre Hopkins, man, like I know that Travis Kelsey got 13 receptions today, but DeAndre Hopkins caught two touchdowns, so I feel like he's actually
Rashid who?
yeah, exactly like
Rashid who? Yeah.
um I think unless hopefully and I'm hoping DeAndre Hopkins can stay healthy because then I don't want to hear excuses of if he goes down, who the Chiefs got new. Well, that's how Patrick Mahomes has to elevate, and this is why I'm kind of annoyed of the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes as a whole. It's not that I don't because here's the thing. Patrick Mahomes is considered as the next GOAT, the next best thing. He's supposed
He's
to
already there. He's already there.
he needs to elevate guys. So
Yeah.
like, and one thing that I gotta give Tom Brady credit, dude. Tom Brady went to a Super Bowl with Julian Edelman only as
Yeah.
as a wide receiver one, and then everyone else was a question mark.
Yeah. Eli Manning, he had David Tyree as his best wide receiver.
Like, don't give me that. So hopefully, like I said, DeAndre Hopkins better stay healthy for the rest of the season because then I don't want to hear the cries of Chiefs fans and Chiefs supporters and reporters and all that stuff. Like Mahomes needs to elevate his guys, regardless if Travis Kelsey ain't playing, if DeAndre Hopkins isn't playing. But solid performance by both Kelsey. But I think, in my opinion, DeAndre Hopkins is the guy of this game. And
He is.
I know that whatever his name is,
Rasheed
Kareem Hunt
Rice.
had a rushing touchdown,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah,
DeAndre
yeah.
Hopkins had two catching touchdowns, which in my opinion, surpasses.
They need to once DeAndre Hopkins gets used to the system, they need to be able to use him in more versatile ways, and they haven't been able to, and that's going to be the difference between the effectiveness of the Chiefs' offense.
Yeah, true. And we'll talk more about the Chiefs' record when we break down the NFL as a whole here in a second. But also, again, they're 8-0. Uh, they're obviously going to win the division. Like I don't
Like,
see them.
what's their lead in their division? Like, how many games ahead are they?
Well, they beat the Chargers and the Raiders. Those are the two games. So I'm assuming that it's maybe a 1 game lead, but that could extend because they have Denver this upcoming weekend too.
Yeah, which that would be 2 games. It's
So
amazing to me that Kansas City could be 8-0. Buffalo could have lost 3 games, but they still have a 3 game lead in their division. Oh
man,
no, 4 games now.
who saw the AFC West be this decent though? Like aside from the Raiders, like you got the Chiefs, the Broncos, who have a winning record. Yes, I know that they got blown out by Baltimore, but they have a winning record. They're at 5-4, and
I,
then the Chargers at 5-4.
well, and we'll get into this too because I really thought that game between Baltimore and Denver was going to be a lot closer, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, no, I don't think anybody ever saw it being this good. There's no doubt that the Chiefs are dominant. Like the Chiefs are like what Peyton Manning was for the Colts. The Colts were just winning the division every single freaking year,
Mm-hmm.
and the Chiefs are just doing that now. Like at this point, anybody's like, who's going to win the AFC West? Chiefs, Chiefs. Don't even give anybody else the time of day. Just Chiefs,
Yeah,
Chiefs.
like again, unless the question is now is are the Chiefs going to hold on to win that number 1 seed? But like I said, we'll talk about
I
more
think
of
they
it.
will.
Okay. Do you have any other concluding thoughts before we get into the NFL recap?
Um, I think if you are Tampa Bay, if you want to salvage this at all, lean on that three-headed running attack because your running backs right now with no wide receivers, they're your best bet. You got to become a run-first team.
Yeah, and
You
and
got
we
to.
and we saw it today too.
They just didn't stick with it though. They didn't stick with it, and that was the problem. They're at the point where they need to start grinding these games out because your running backs are your shining light. I'm sorry, Baker Mayfield or Baker Mayfield as I'm calling him. Um, I'm sorry that you want to throw the ball, that you want to run the ball yourself, but your 3 running backs are your best bet for a
Yep.
winning season.
Yep.
Hand them the ball, get it to them. If you have to, if you have to, set up a personnel grouping where you've got all 3 of these guys in the game at once, and you can hand the ball off to one of them and use the other 2 as wide receivers if you have to do it that way.
Yep. But anyway, that is our post-game analysis for this game. Like I said, the NFL Week 9 recap is coming up next. Stay tuned for that show. If you're just gonna watch the post-game, thank you very much. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to both of our channels. Turn on the push notification bell. Follow us on TikTok. Support our PayPals. See you guys next time.